Beruchim haboim. Welcome everyone. We're about to begin Be'ezras Hashem together on Daf Ayin Amud Beis, 8 lines from the top. Our Mishnah contrasts the Korban Chagigo of Yudalid Benisan with the Korban Pesach. And one of the main differences is that on the Korban Pesach, it's Doiches HaShabbos, whereas the Korban Chagiga is not overriding the Shabbos. The Gemara now brings a brisa with a Tana who takes issue with this opinion. Says the Gemara, Tanya, Yehuda ben Dortai Peresh, who V'dordatai benoi, he and his son separated themselves from the Chachomim. V'holach v'yoshav loy bedorom, and went to dwell in the area of the Dorim, far away from Yerushalayim, where then he would have the Petur of coming to bring a Korban Pesach on Yudalid ben Nisan. Omar, he said, on the year that Yudalid came out to be on Shabbos, Im Yova Eliyahu v'yomer lahem liYisrael, if Eliyahu Navi would come and tell Klal Yisrael, Mivnei ma lo chagagtem chagiga b'Shabbos, why didn't you bring the Korban Chagiga, the Korban Chagiga of Yudalid on Shabbos? Mahen oimrim loy, what would they respond to him? Timehani al shnei gedoylei hador, Shmai v'Avtalyon. I am in wonderment that the two Gedolei Hador, Shmai v'Avtalyon, the Nasi and the Av Bezdin, Shein Chachomim Gedolim Darshonim Gedolim, great men of wisdom, and expound the Torah brilliantly, and did not rule and tell the people that the Korban Chagiga is Doiches HaShabbos. Omar Rav said, my time de Ben Dortoi. What is the reasoning for Ben Dortoi that he holds that the Korban Chagiga is yes Doiches HaShabbos? D'chsiv, it says in the Pasuk, V'zovachto Pesach LaHashem Elokecha Tzoin Ubokar, and you shall offer up the Korban Pesach to Hashem, Tzoin, sheep, cattle, Tzoin Ubokar, sheep, and also Bokar. V'haloi ein Pesach ela mina kvosim mina izim. Hooray! The Korban Pesach can only be brought by a lamb or a goat. So why does it mention Bokar? Ela tzoin ze Pesach, Bokar zu Chagiga. V'omer Rachmana v'zavachta Pesach. So the Torah is telling you, according to his understanding, that the same way that you are to then bring a Korban Pesach, so too shall bring a Korban Chagiga, whereby there's a command, even if it is going to be on Shabbos, it will be Doiches HaShabbos. So in other words, the Korban Chagiga is compared to the Korban Pesach even when Yudal is on Shabbos. Omar Rav Ashi says, Va'anan taimo de perushim neiku v'nifrush. In other words, we have to go ahead and explain out the explanation of the separatists of the Perushim. Why do we have to give an explanation for what the source is for their improper opinion? Elo kro like Rav Nachman hu de'osa. The pasuk is like Rav Nachman explained. The Omar Rav Nachman, Omar Rabbi Baravua. Minayin lomoisar haPesach shekarov shlomim. If a person has a Korban Pesach and it gets lost, he has to bring another animal in its place. Then he comes and he finds that original Korban Pesach. What does he do with that Korban Pesach? Or he's makdish money to bring to buy a Korban Pesach. When he goes to buy a tleh, so in the marketplace it has gone down in value, whereby he has extra money. What does he do with that extra money that was makdish for the Korban Pesach? Shneimar, it says, "V'zovachta Pesach laHashem Elokecha tzoin ubokar," and you shall offer the Korban Pesach tzoin ubokar. V'chi Pesach mina bokar bo. Does the Korban Pesach come from bokar, from cattle? Certainly not. Halo ein Pesach ba ela mina kvosim mina izim, only with sheep and with goats. So why did the pasuk say that you shall offer a Korban Pesach? And it states over there, tzoin ubokar. Elo Moisar HaPesach Yeledover Haba Minatzoin Umina Bokar, to teach me that in this case of Moisar HaBokar, Moisar HaPesach, where you have then that Korban Pesach that is left over, what are you to do with it? On that, we're saying that could be brought as that is to be brought as a Korban Shlomim, and it can be brought either with tzoin or with cattle, with bakar. So therefore, that's what the pasuk is coming to add, that you can use it as a Korban Shlomim. You shall use it as a Korban Shlomim, even if you want, could be even from bakar, because the Korban Shlomim is not limited to tzoin. It can be brought with bakar. The Gemara now says, Rabbanon, going over to the Korban Chagiga now of Tesvav, which is brought on Sukkot and on Pesach, and is brought ideally the first day of Yom Tif. If it's not brought on the first day of Yom Tif, it has Tashlumi for the rest of Yom Tif. So the Gemara asks, Rabbanon, my time dochi Shabbos. Why does the Chagiga of Tesvav not doiches HaShabbos? In other words, the Chagiga of Yudaleh, they explained earlier, is not doiches HaShabbos because it's not a choiva. We said the reason why the Korban Chagiga of Yudaleh is brought is in order to then provide enough meat for those who then will eat the Korban Pesach, will eat the Korban Pesach ala soiva. But it's not a choiva, therefore it's not doiches HaShabbos. But now the Gemara says, what about Tesvav, the Chagiga of Tesvav? Why is that not doiches HaShabbos? Ha vadai Korban Sibur, it's a Korban Sibur, meaning individuals bring it, but they are all, the Sibur, the entire Sibur is bringing it on Yom Tif. And it's also a designated time. It's supposed to be in Tesvav. If it can't be on Tesvav, it's then to be brought the rest of Yom Tif, but it's for a designated time. So therefore, why is this Korban Chagiga of Tesvav, not doiches HaShabbos? Omar Rabbi Eloi, Mishum Rabbi Yehuda ben Svara, to explain, Ben Safra, Omar Kro, it says in the Pasuk, in regards to Sukkis, V'chagoisem oisoi chag laHashem, Shivas Yomim Bashana, and you shall chogeg on the chag laHashem, referring to Sukkis, for 7 days of the year. Shiva asked the Gemara, it's only 7 days. Shmoina havu, hare, there's 8 days, including Shmini Atzeres. Why does the Pasuk then say that if a person does not bring the Korban Chagiga on the first day, which is what the Pasuk is coming to say, you can go ahead and be choygeg, you can bring the Korban Chagiga the rest of the week. But it states 7 days. L'chara, if a person doesn't bring the first day, he can also bring it all the way until the 8th day, including Shmina Atzeres. So why does the verse speak out, Shivas Yomim B'Shana? It's 8 days. Answers the Gemara, Ela Mikan, to explain, L'chagiga she'ena doiches HaShabbos, that the Korban Chagiga is not doiches HaShabbos. This is the source. Ki osa Ravin, when Ravin came, Omar, he said, Amarti lifnei rabboisai, I said before my rabbonim, my rabbeim, Pa'amim she'i ato moitze elashisha. There are times that you only find 6 days. Because, why? Kigon shechal Yom Tov harishon shechal b'Shabbos. If the first day of Sukkot comes out to be on Shabbos, that means the 8th day, which Shmini Atzeres, would also come out to be on Shabbos. So it would come out, there will only be 6 days that you would have the Tashlumim of the Korban Chagiga. Omar Abai was not happy with this response. That is why he's explaining, he's actually, as if he's asking a question on the Pasuk. Abai is defending the Pasuk. Avin Tichla. He said a negative term, Avin, a reference to Ravin, Tichla, who lost his children. He was childless. Leima kiha milsa. Can you say such a matter that's what the pasuk? Why the pasuk, as if it's incorrect because there's 6 days? Certainly not. Shmoina lo mishkachas lecha. We don't have ever a situation where there's 8 days, because always there's going to be Shabbos amongst the 8 days. So it's never going to be 8 days. And therefore, Shiva Isa Barov Shonim. But most of the time, the pasuk is talking about the majority of times, it comes out to be 7. So therefore, it speaks about that. And therefore, Abai was upset that Ravin was coming to Ikilu ask on the pasuk. But indeed, we see from over here that the Korban Chagiga of Chamisha Asar is not Doiches HaShabbos, as this pasuk indicates.